What's up, everybody? Just out here getting some fresh air, Want to make a quick video for you, and kind of, just get this vitamin D. Just kind of putting it out there a little bit. Supposed to be at the job spot, but I went in early, so now I got some time to kill. So I figure I'll spend this time with you guys here in the park and just talk to my people. So I hope everybody's doing good out there. Hope you guys are uh, uh, um, taking y'all blessings in stride. I um, hope you guys are being blessed with the recent information that's been put forth by all the different video authors. Now, this is the first time in a while that me and you guys actually had a face to face. So I'm not in front of my computer or anything, So if I state anything, understand I'm going straight off of memory. Um, but I just wanted to kind of encourage everybody out there, as always. Obviously, the usual suspects. Much love to them. Y'all ain't hip, Brother Lex dropping videos. Check him out. He got some pretty cool stuff going. Um, you know, Obviously we got the Brother Lex will. Brother King is dropping this loads of stuff. Now, if y'all ain't checked out that Nazi video either on the Drop Radio site or on YouTube, check it out. It's pretty intense. As always, got to get the babies out with the bathwater. Um, but It's definitely worth checking out. It's definitely a different spin, or definitely a different perspective as far as what we've been taught, and as we are have learned and learning that everything that they taught us ain't right, on purpose. People are living these illusionary lives, one system top on of another system to kind of force us to behave in a certain pattern, in a certain way, with a certain expectation. And right now, what we're doing here is not expected to the degree in which things are occurring, at the rate in which we're doing stuff together as a family, you know, as a King Drop Say Drop Nation, Um, we live our daily lives, and I think just taking on a war mindset, right? A strategic mindset, you know, yeah, trying to get back to our indigenous truth. And from what we see in scriptures, and what we learn in history, is that we always seem to run away, um, to get out of her, get out of Babylon, and to go to Zion, and this, that, and the other. And just a basic understanding of history, the details, and that's where the devil lies, right? As far as these events, when we start looking into them, there's the obvious point, the objective, as it were, and then there is the making it happen, the going through with it, and there's a lot of different steps and stuff in between. And I bring that up because you know yeah, we are getting out the system. We're trying to take those first steps to make that happen, and I think, and when I say strategic, let me clarify. When there is a war, okay, you have to have what they call a supply line, and through that supply line, you help out, and help out and feed people on the front line with food, supplies, and yada yada yada. And I think we need to take into account when we have people like Jay Stu going out here and the family going out there to Utah and trying to live that indigenous truth. We got to make sure that the supply chain is going is in full effect. Now, excuse me. What do I mean by that? That means somebody's gonna have to not only be the stopgap, but they also gonna have to be the. Some of us gonna have to stay behind to make sure that everybody escapes, as it were. Um, what comes to mind is the Exodus. When the Hebrews were being led out, they were led by a pillar of fire by day and was it pillar of fire by night and pillar of cloud by day. But that pillar of fire would also cloud would also produce itself on the backside to protect the rear guard, um, to make sure that the whole of Israel would escape Egypt. Um, and I think that's something that these battle tactics we need to really start incorporating into what we're trying to do. I think it was General Patton that stated that he used the Bible. I think he used Joshua when he was doing his African campaigns to take advantage during World War II. Because a lot of when you understand that there is battle tactics written in the book, written in the word uh, of the Most High, it's clearly stated. But like a lot of these things, we don't necessarily perceive them as battle tactics. You know, we get caught up in the miracle of things. We get caught up in the supernatural. We get caught up in the language. We get caught up in the timing. All right, we're dealing with that. Um, so one of the things we shouldn't ignore is the battle tactics. There are battle tactics written, um, and we need to start focusing on that, discovering that, and relaying that to each other, and how God, how he wants us to operate. Um, I'm not a big believer in people having one straddle in the fence. You straddle the fence, you bust your balls. Um, but I think there's a difference between straddling the fence and a tactical maneuver. Okay, um, and we're gonna this recent history, right? You had the Underground Railroad. You have to have a system in place to afford the opportunity for people to flee. And then you also have to have people um, on the plantations, those that are left behind to be the rear guard, to make sure that those that are trying to escape to freedom, to get back to the indigenous truth, can make it. You know, and unfortunately, some of those who tried to do so hung for it, burned for it. But that's kind of the dynamic that takes place when you're trying to leave captivity. Um, so I think it's important that we not just know our role, but understand our role. Um, it's not meant for everybody to be the first ones out. Okay, like a Jay Stu and Sister Camellia, right? Um, and that's okay. You can help in other ways. We have so much to restore. That there's plenty to do. You know, let me using a parallel. Let me make sure that you got food to eat, right? Don't worry about food. Don't even worry about what's gonna be made for dinner. Just know that when you come home, dinner gonna be made, so that you can strengthen yourself to go back out to out to the battlefield. That person that's the cook to making sure everybody's fed, no matter what. That's still a vital role to be played, right? Um, and if you look at any military tactics, any military organization, they have their own supply lines. Everyone plays a role. The guy that works on that submarine, and all he does is the chef. He got to make sure that the entire crew is fed. You know what I'm saying? That's an important role. When we're trying to set up these different ways of getting out the system, it, we got to have people in place that's going to be able to place certain roles. Somebody who can navigate the stars, who know how to follow the North Star to freedom. You know what I'm saying? Um, and really present that, and convey that to those that are still trapped inside in this world, this system that we live in. Okay. Um, so I just want to kind of share that perspective, um, and understand that there's equal glory to it all, every bit, every aspect. You know what I'm saying? Every every part. Everybody got their role to play. The reason why, God had to set aside the Levites, right? Because they got their role to play. Was they any less than the tribe of Judah? Or any less than the tribe of Dan or Simeon or any other tribes? No, they had their role to play. And because they had their role to play, and you know, um, teach me to be priestly is breaking that down to be like the Levites, right? The one thing that we can say, and it's funny when he says be like the Levites. The reason why I say that is because we're breaking down the whole Prester John thing, and with the Levites and being like Levites, and then uh, when we see about the Giannis, those that flee, the exilarchs, when you take the whole things into account, right? Um, if I'm not mistaken, and again, I'm just doing this off memory, so y'all got to double check my work. And if I'm wrong, post it in the comments, um, or what have you. Give me a heads up, because I don't want, I'm big on clarity. But I think it's in either Leviticus or Deuteronomy. Please forgive me. But it states how the Levites, right? They are or have established what they call the sanctuary cities, where is where one goes, where you flee to uh, when there's something on the table that needs to be addressed or judged or what have you. Um, if I'm not mistaken, that is in the book of it might be Deuteronomy, where I want to say chapter 28. Mm. As far as those sanctuary cities. As a matter of fact, if you, I think if you like do a Google, not a Google search, but search, you go to the search engine, go into like the Bible Hub or what have you, uh, and then search Avenger. You know, what's the role of Avenger? When someone kills a member of your family, then that person is the Avenger, and that Avenger has every right to extract justice upon the ones in which he was sinned against. But when a person is uh, uh, is guilty of committing that original sin, then that person can flee to the sanctuary cities of the Levites, and hopefully through the mediation of the Levites, things can get reconciled. Uh, Something of that basic nature. Uh, sorry about that. I had a little nice little dog. Like I said, I'm out in the park, and nice little dog wanted to come up to me and say what's up to me, running away from his masters, like I guess we all trying to do in some shape, fashion, or forms, right? Um, any case, um, and I think it's important in the understanding of the Levitical order that I think we might want to, it might be more truth uh, that the lost tribes are I don't want to say wiped out, but they've been absorbed into the Levitical order because they were looking for sanctuary. Remember diaspora, or where they go in times of trouble. This is why when you look back at the histories, why they were also, hell bent on, putting their false gods in our temples, because of all places that we know we can go to the temple for safety, for security, and that is, that's true in modern day, in modern history with our people. Um, when things were bad, where did we go? We went to the church for sanctuary, for solace, to be encouraged. Um, but the problem here is that the Levites, they always stayed on the move. When I'm looking up, trying to understand better the tents of Judah, written in Ezekiel, I think it was Zephaniah, excuse me, Zephaniah, uh, 12 7 and 8, chapter 12, verse 7 and 8. And the tents of Judah, and I'm looking, trying to get the drop on that, and that information is leading me to the tabernacle. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, we gotta we gotta set up shop um, accordingly. We gotta set up shop so that the rest of our people can be set free. I think this is what it means um, when when it states that the tents of Judah is going to be first. And in reality, I think that's something that Brother Jay Steele and his family and the peoples out there, that's what they represent, the first tents. You know, um, and God's gonna protect those that are in the first tents and make sure that they're well established, so that the house of David and the inhabitants of Judah, of Jerusalem, can then flourish. There is an order, and yes, there is an order to fleeing. Um, we have not gotten the we haven't gotten the instructions to raise where we're at. And I say raise, I mean raise to the ground and then bounce like they did in Egypt. You know, they stripped down the entire nation of all their gold. I mean, you just read about it in the Exodus. They stripped them suckers down, and then fled. And then then they made their way. You know, and just on a side thought, I was talking about in my last video how where did the Egyptians go? Um, I think they left with us. I think that was more the problem with Ramses than probably the gold itself. You know what I'm saying? We gave the Egyptians the indigenous truth to get them out the thought frequency. Heya breaks the thought frequency. You know, let my people go. We bounce. And there was those Egyptians there that was like, what, we out of here. I'm not gonna stay here in this desolation. I hear the words of Hey. Y'all hear the words of his prophets. I hear the words of Moses. We gonna bounce. And this is not including the fact that before Moses became Moses, he was already a down homie with the Egyptians. They loved him, despite the fact that he wasn't necessarily, Egyptian bloodline, right? So where did the Egyptians go? They got absorbed. That's what we do. They like to wear us like clothes. That's the perversion. The indigenous truth here is we'll lead you out of this captivity because y'all captive too. And that that's my message for those my Kemetic brothers, my Amorites, and the Moors, and any other melanated people out there. Um, let me be clear, and I hope y'all hear me very clearly. There are white folks who are our melanated brothers too. I made a recent, I was in a recent conversation and had to break down, you know, don't you hear the word magic when you say Asian, Afro Asian, then Caucasian. What's the root word? Asian, right? Asian is all three. Okay. Now this other white people that ain't Caucasian, I don't know where the fuck they come from. It came off the map out of nowhere. I'm trying to figure that out. Everybody got these theories. Seems to point back to around the 1400s when they just walked upon the scene. But I think there's a difference because when you it doesn't make sense when you're talking about the white Ethiopians and the Libyan Ethiopians and all this other stuff and where did the Egyptians go when we look back into history and we got this confusion like they don't exist anymore. Like they're not part of the equation, but they got absorbed into the equation. That's what it is. You know, either those Egyptians in Alexandria was on one side or the other. You was either down with the Hellenistic thought process or you was down with the Hebraic thought process, and you picked your side. So you know, but yet again, when it comes down to this extra race or whatever the hell, these kinds of man, not humans, you know, that's that Atlantis hijack, right? They're trying to take care of everything, all right? They're trying to keep us all separated, mad at each other. But yet, when we read timelines, certain words don't make no sense, even to the historians that's supposed to have lived there in that time frame. Just don't nothing add up because we keep getting lost in these titles. Ain't that the whole biggest problem with Prester John? Westerns calling him Prester John, but yeah, he said my name ain't Prester John. The people there called him Emperor and his Longo DeWitt, or but they just simplified and called it David. But yet, when we look at Prester, it's all this nonsense. The double hide. Well, he's Prester John. Well, you have a hard time understanding what the title Prester John is, and then when you read the description of Prester John, what is it? He's a Nestorian Christian. Well, what the hell is that? Shit. And then when you discover that when you understand what the Nestorian is, Nestorians have nothing to do with Christianity whatsoever. They sound more like judges. Which brings me to a point. And and this is where I'm just giving you guys some what do they call that? Some teaser for the next one I'm gonna bring out. My next video I'm gonna do with this whole thing. Okay. Uh, you know, yeah. We don't know what the timelines really are. We don't know what the story is. We don't know how it's hijacked. So my question for y'all to chew on is, what time is it now? Right. What time is that? A chemtrail behind me? Y'all see that? Look at that chemtrail there. Cloud seeding, geoengineering is what that's called. Y'all see that? Oh wow. Damn. You know what? 100 years from now, they're gonna take this video and try to make something of that and hijack that shit too. I'm just showing y'all the damn chemtrails, and they're gonna be like, "Yeah, he believed in aliens." I don't know. I'm just saying. I'm just fucking with y'all. Uh, so just understand what time is it? What does your internal clock say? What does your gut tell you? You know what I'm saying? That no matter what anybody else tells you, it rings true to you. You know what I'm saying? So you gotta keep that and keep that in harmony, keep that in perspective. I'm gonna break it down to exactly what time it is. And y'all gonna flip y'all wig. I've been trying to, again, absorb so much information from all you guys out there putting together these videos and dropping this information and stuff, right? I'm trying. And it's like, well, hold up. I get this piece of information, but, with this, what we know over here and then how this fit over here, I mean, you know, just putting the information together as a project, let alone trying to take time to stop and say, hey, y'all, look what I discovered with the information. And foolishly, and I admit it, I'm a fool in this regard. Sometimes I think people know what I know because I know it. It makes me wonder how come you don't know it, But then when I get in the conversation, then people don't know some of the, not that they're stupid, not that they don't get it, just don't have the information or the information hasn't been put together in front of them for them to come to their own conclusions. So, with that said, um, I want y'all to really think about it. What time is it? Where are we at? Time is cyclical, but where are we at in the timeline? Hmm? Are we still in the 1400s? Are we? On the last video, I eliminated what? According to the Gregorian calendar and what we came across, I eliminated what, about 300 to 700 BC, AD. Yeah, I eliminated that from the timeline. So, depends on how you want to perceive it. But what's really going on? You know what I'm saying? Hold on for me. Let me light my black. Sorry about that. Thank you for your patience.